Okay.
5 o'clock.
Oh,
That new time now zone.
Yep.
Kelly is here, I'm sorry.
Must be in Britain time zone.
Okay.
Okay.
I want to welcome you to tonight's council meeting for the City of Columbia Heights. For Monday, April 13th, 2020, 7 p.m., we are at City Hall tonight, like we usually are, except spread out because of the COVID. And we actually, at this point, we don't have any guests. So we're welcoming you online tonight. Thank you. And Nicole, could you give us a roll call, please?
Councilmember Biskins.
Here.
Councilmember Williams.
Happy to be here.
Councilmember Mershon.
Here.
Councilmember Novitsky.
Here.
Mayor Schmidt.
Here. And if you could stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, I'll read our mission statement. Our mission is to provide the highest quality public services. Services will be provided in a fair, respectful, and professional manner that effectively addresses changing citizen and community needs in a fiscally responsible manner. Next item is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve it as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Biskins, second by Councilmember Mershon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And next item is the consent agenda. And Kelly, you have a list. It is your list tonight.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Consent agenda items are as follows. Item A is minutes of the City Council meeting of March 23rd. Item B is acceptance of the EDA minutes of February 3rd. Item C is an award of professional services for the Silver Lake Boat Landing and Lift Station reconstruction. That's City Projects 1912 and 2008. Those are to WSB and Associates. Item D is award of professional services for Pump Station 3 improvement, and that's City Project 2010. That's to Bolton and Mank. Item E is Resolution 2020-40, and that is approving a grant application to the Met Council supporting the addition of pedestrian facilities along and adjacent to 49th Avenue from Johnson to Monroe Streets. Item F is adoption of Resolution 2020-41, and that's accepting bids and awarding a contract for the 2020 miscellaneous concrete repairs and installations. That's City Project 2000. Item G is awarding professional services for construction materials testing for the 2020 concrete alleys, 37th Avenue Trail, the street rehabilitation, and the infrastructure projects. Item H is awarding of the professional services contract for construction, surveying, and staking for 2020 concrete alley, street rehab, and infrastructure projects, and that's to Bolton and Mank. Item I is summary ordinance 1661. That is the ordinance that you adopted at the last meeting dealing with garage structure wall heights. Item J is resolution 2020-42. And that's approving the temporary site license agreement with New Singular Wireless PCS. That is the AT&T temporary tower that's proposed to go on the library site, being taken off of the building at the corner of Central and 40th. Item K is approval of the business license applications included in your packet. And item L is a review of the bills totaling $1,027,451.39.
Are there any questions from the council? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Councilmember Novinsky, second by Councilmember Biskins. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.
And the only other item is council and administrative reports. So, Connie, I'm going to let you start. I know I think tonight is a good night to make sure everybody is aware of any cancellations of events, like the Cheers for Beers. Have you have the information for that?
The Cheers for Beers that's put together by Heights Next has been canceled, and also the Pride Festival. It's going to be canceled in the physical form, but they're working on doing a virtual form of the Pride Fest for Columbia Heights. They have to check out with other cities to see how they're doing it, and that'll be announced later. And Unfortunately, our plant exchange, right now, we're not sure if we can figure out a way to do it without people gathering. We might put something up on the Heights Next page, but that's the only thing that I know of. I did do one thing last week.
Oh.
I mean, I've been staying home and listening to the stay-at-home order by the governor, but I had my first two meetings, virtual meetings, and so I attended the National Night Out Leaders Meeting that the police put on. He was informing people about what the city's doing about the coronavirus and how prepared they are and things like that. That was a new experience. So, and that was it. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Williams?
Well, I'm happy to announce, I don't believe there's been any in our business. I have about 400 employees. I don't think we have anyone with an outbreak at this point.
Good.
I'm very grateful for that. To my knowledge, I haven't seen anything in Anoka County either. Now, I'm not sure there is any.
Yeah,
There is?
There was 7.
There is 7?
oh, no, this is higher than that. It's like in the,
Has there been any in our
Please.
city?
you can look it up online, but I think it's between 50 and 70
I'm sorry.
people.
Yes,
can
I'm
have
sorry.
the-
Kelly knows.
Kelly may
I
know.
can't tell you about the city. They don't drill down that far. Anoka County, as of today, I believe, was at 68
68?
total.
I didn't see that.
Positive cases.
Yeah,
How
but
about the city of Columbia Heights, any?
They don't share that information.
You don't?
It's broken down to the county level, and that's as far down as it goes.
but our next door neighbor, what is Minneapolis? I think they're up in the 400s now.
Again, I don't know the
Hennepin
city.
County.
Hennepin County
yeah.
is much higher, but the
Yeah.
population density.
Minneapolis is a much higher, they're in the hundreds, so.
We have had a couple of deaths, but not to the virus. So we're pretty fortunate in our company, so far in our city, I think.
So far, so good.
Thank you. Can you guys update us on Jamboree stuff?
Right now, the Lions Club board members are voting on whether to cancel or postpone the Jamboree, which would include the car show, the parade, and the carnival. Everything that has to do with the Jamboree. And so far, it looks like we're gonna be canceling it for this year just because of the coronavirus, and no one knows for sure when it's gonna let up or stop or so, but there's still other events like the wrestling that's coming in November and stuff. That's a good possibility and stuff, but right now, for sure, in June, the carnival, I'm pretty 99.9% positive that the carnival will be canceled. That's all I have.
Okay. Nick?
I've just been staying at home and hanging out with the kids, family, and helping with distance learning, which, once again, great job to the schools. I've had a chance to experience their virtual meetings, kind of the Zoom ones, maybe the same thing as what you did. And our teachers and staff are really pulling it off, I will say. We have a question, she can get right on, see her teachers. They're all very quick at responding back to us, so I'm appreciative of that and learning and helping the new style of how they do math, which is different than how we did it.
Thank you. As an update on my end, the prayer breakfast is not happening at this point. I don't think we're going to reschedule for the fall, just plan on, see if the pastors are willing to maybe do one next year. That would be a great idea. But as far as other events, I know Fridley's canceled their 49ers Day, so that would be the weekend before. So there, pretty much everything scheduled, big events scheduled for June that I'm aware of has been canceled around us.
Minneapolis just canceled all their.
Minneapolis has canceled the beach, has closed the beaches, they've closed their swimming pools. We are not taking that step, but Kelly can update us on that too. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I have a list of things that are open and closed and open in various formats. So we'll get started. Liquor Store 1, our top value on Central Avenue, is open. It's open limited hours with social distancing and safety measures in place. We anticipate that to continue. We're hoping we can open liquor store too. That might be a curbside pickup. We're working on that yet. The library opened up today for curbside pickup of items that were placed on hold prior to the library closing. They're hoping to open up in a curbside pickup type capacity for new materials starting next week. So they're working with Anoka County on that. Let's see, Councilmember Biskins mentioned the neighborhood watch meeting we had via Zoom last week. We're trying to do as many of those meetings as we can electronically now. Our parks are still open. That is, I know, something that we get a lot of questions on. We are posting signs, and we will continue to post more signs in different formats. We strongly discourage the use of the playground equipment. And if people are playing basketball, they do still have to practice social distancing. So kind of makes it difficult to play traditional basketball, but there are ways to do that. We do have recreation staff now traveling to all of the park locations to educate people that they find that are not being safe or practicing social distancing, so we will continue to do that. We want to keep those parks open. People need to be able to get out and get fresh air. Not as much today with the snow, but certainly it'll get nicer as the weeks go here. Public Works projects, we have a lot of construction projects on the calendar. Those are all still planned as a go. There's some modifications and some things we need to work through. There's 5 pre-con meetings scheduled for next week and the following. Those will either be done safely in a location, or they will be done digitally, but they are all still planned and a go. The contractors are all anxious to continue those projects. We are trying to get information out to small businesses. The Small Business Administration has the new programs that were put into effect by the president. We need to get that information out, especially to our sole proprietors and our very small businesses here in town. If we're trying to push information out, I know we have it out on our Facebook page, our website. Anoka County's been great at that. It's been just kind of drinking out of a fire hose as far as the information being available and getting pushed out there. We just want to make sure we can get as much out to our local people as we can. Applications for recreational burning, that is being done online right now. Our police and fire, the public safety building is still closed to the public, but we are trying to process those. Again, not so much right now, but when the weather gets nice for those recreational burns, we want to make sure that we're still providing for those. As Councilmember Merjan mentioned, with the potential cancellation of the Jamboree, we have not entered into a contract for the fireworks for this year. If Jamboree is not a go, we will not be doing fireworks this year. It will be money that we'll save to go towards the big 100-year anniversary next year. We are still questioning whether or not to do the community picnic. That is typically scheduled the day that Jamboree starts. The way it's looking, we probably won't do that, or we'll do a very modified version of that, but we haven't made that final call yet. We have decided to cancel the citywide garage sale. That happens early in June, and it just doesn't make sense to continue with that. Then SECA, our police, fire, and recreation staff helped do delivery drops for SECA last week, which was wonderful, and SECA is planning to do another one of those events in early May, and we're certainly hoping that we can provide that same assistance to them for that drop as well. And then one other piece that's not related to closures or anything like that, but on your agenda tonight, you had approved the contract, the professional contract for the Silver Lake Boat Landing. That's been kind of a work in progress for a while. I know some of the neighbors were concerned and expressed concern to Kevin about the design of that. He is working with those property owners to do a modification to that design and with our engineering firm. So that will kind of, he'll be meeting with them ongoing for the next week or two. And then at the next council meeting on April 27th, hopefully we'll have some resolution on that we'll be able to bring to the council. I think that covers everything, yes. City Hall is still closed to the public. Merjan Hall is still closed to the public. Public Works is still closed to the public. They are all out still working though. Public Works has done a great job of splitting shifts and relocating their staff to not try and segregate them as much as possible. We've moved staff around at City Hall, making sure we're meeting the social distancing requirements and being as safe as we can. We have as many people as we can in all departments working from home. That's been actually a learning experience and a good experience for us overall. I think some of these things that we're learning will carry on even after we get kind of back to business as usual. So there's silver linings in some of this too. But we're still available. I mentioned it at the last meeting. We're still available by phone, by email. We are meeting with people safely when needed in person. Ryan is still out doing building inspections as required by the governor's order. So we are still making sure that we're providing those services. Utility bills went out, so we're still working with residents on that. So as normal as we can make it right now.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I've done a lot of petitioning to the governor and to some senators and representatives over the last week in regards to some of our local businesses. If you have a business and you think you can run your business socially, accepted under their guidelines, call them, send them an email. Their emails are easy to find online. Talk to them. They will listen. You won't always get an answer because they are very busy, but they are going to be back in session tomorrow, and they're going to be re-evaluating some of those businesses. If you would like to petition to get your business online, please do so, because this is the time to do it. We want everybody up and running as soon as possible. And small business can do it, I think, in a fairly easy manner, probably easier than Target or some of the big companies, because you know who's walking through your door. I've seen it happen at the bakery. They limit it to 3 people in the store at once. And there's multiple stores that are putting signs on their doors saying only this number of people are allowed through the door. So if you think you can run your business safely and effectively, give your representative, give your senator a call. Contact the governor, contact as many people as possible, and try to plead your case. And if you have similar friends in the same type of business, get them together as a group to plead. So I encourage you to do that.
In a follow-up to that, if there's a business, this latest order took care of a lot of the questions about, some of the businesses it wasn't clear if they were a critical business or not. DEED, the Department of Employment and Economic Development, did a great job of making determinations as it went. The governor's latest order did a good job of clarifying most of those and incorporating a lot of those into the order itself. But DEED is still making those determinations, and they have a complete list on their website that lists out by business type whether they're considered a critical business or not under the governor's order. So that is helpful. Initially we were getting a lot of questions and phone calls from business people wanting to know how they could be considered critical, and really it's not our determination to make, it was the governor's. But they've done a good job of clarifying a lot of those businesses that you didn't see on the list. So they've been adding to that a lot, which is appreciated.
Thank you. And the city attorney is not here tonight, so can I get a motion to adjourn then, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by Councilmember Merschman. Oh, it was Connie? Excuse me.
Can't tell.
I can't see your face, I'm sorry. Good motion by Councilmember Biskin, second by Councilmember Novinsky. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We are adjourned.